Hello everybody, it's GirlGotGame and welcome back to the crimson flower that divides lunar coupling. Today, we're back in the beginning because it is finally Toya's time to shine. And I have been waiting for this one because Toya just gets better with time in every route. So I have high expectations for him. I'm hoping for good things. So, we're still back in Ruse? Yes. Right? Yes. We go to Nasla, we're in Ruse right now. We saved our friends, and we're fighting currently, and this is the first time we run into Touya. So I thought this would be a good time to begin. I glared at the men standing before me with determination, and they recoiled slightly. Maybe it's rare for a woman who has been pushed to this point to resist as I have. What's wrong? Are the barbarians who attack under the cover of night scared of a petite woman?
Damn, she's getting full of herself. I'll fill you up with something else right here and now.
Come and try it, if you can. Provoking them in a loud voice, I prayed that this would confuse them. However... Contrary to what you'd expect, everything suddenly became quiet. Accompanying the silence, the looks on the soldiers' faces became increasingly nervous.
You'll do what? Who said that just now? But...
Somebody in trouble. I just realized that Toya also has a tattoo. I never noticed that before. The crowd parted in the center, and a man emerged from the other side. He walked calmly, without excess. His presence alone was overwhelming. His rough red hair danced in the wind like a flame.
I believe I said to be courteous with the women. If your head can't keep my orders in it, then perhaps you don't need it.
He pointed his blade at the man and squinted his slitted eyes. In another time and place, he had a beauty to him that might make one fall in love with him in an instant. I forgot that was their first impression, like, yo, he beautiful though. Is he their commander? While keeping his guard up, the man with the red hair turned to me, and with a wry smile, spoke as if the last few minutes hadn't happened.
I apologize for the rough treatment you've seen from my soldiers. If you please, would you put your sword away?
So you can kidnap me in peace? What woman would go along with that?
I don't imagine there are any. However, I don't wish for you to resist any further. If possible, I'd like for you to survive this encounter.
Okay, so this is the only one we haven't done yet, so let's try it. What are you getting at? His polite demeanor only served to piss me off more. Alright, we already got an up with him. You feel the need to ridicule Ruse women as well?
That's not it at all. I'm asking because you are courageous, and I don't want to lose you.
Maybe you're not asking out of some warped sense of civility. Maybe you're just afraid you can't beat me. We faced each other silently, each confirming our unwavering wills.
I see. It seems that our battle goddess will not understand without a show of strength. In that case...
The reflection of the flames danced and his sword pointed at me. I felt a terrible power coming from the blade dyed in red. His narrowed red eyes suddenly became dangerous as trembles ran throughout my body. I've got a bad feeling about this. I feel like the outcome has already been decided.
I'll use this sword to have you understand my feelings.
Alright. He moved at me at a blistering speed, as if he wasn't wearing armor. I held my sword reflexively, but I knew it would not be of much use. He's got me! As I'd feared, my sword was sent flying with a heavy blow. The sword spun through the air, piercing the rubble. I'd only ever lost to Auri! Which means that this guy was on a level equal to that of Auri, who is our country's greatest swordsman. Or maybe even... he was better. With no other options, I reached for the dagger at my waist.
My apologies.
Just as I felt a sharp pain in my stomach, my consciousness quickly slipped away. Alright, let me get our first picture. What was it to get rid of it again? Is it this? Yes, there we go. Hey. Alright. And we're off to the races.
That's enough. We have the women we came for. Retreat! Yes, sir!
This was the beginning of what would be a very long nightmare. A night when the gears of fate began to turn in the wrong direction. Alright. Cue the intro. Boo-boo-doo-doo. The one who chooses. Right. What I want to know is, are we going to finally find out what happened to Mom? That's the most important thing. So, I guess we'll get reacquainted with Surin, barf, and then when, Toya saves our butt, we can start up again there. Hey, there we go. Hey, Toya. Let's see. Okay, we'll start from this spot. I don't really miss you, Surin. Don't take that personally, but I don't miss you too much. Everything went pitch black dark, but Surin will keep escalating things if I don't say it. While thinking I want to kill him over and over in my heart, I prepare to say that despicable phrase.
Your head will fly before that happens, Surin.
My eyesight fell upon the blade resting against Surin's neck and the face of the person holding it. I don't know why I saw a cheek instead of neck. This guy is... A face I could never forget. The man who abducted me. It's a complicated feeling to be saved by this guy. Indeed.
Hey, come on, I was just playing around. Doesn't look that way. And how the previous king would roll around in his grave if he could see you now. I'm the king now. I don't need a commander who can't follow the king's orders. Alright, alright. Touya, you're too kind.
What? He's the king? My confusion continued even as Surin got off me. As I stared, the king knelt down in front of me and hung his head. I'm amazed, but for a completely different reason from that of Surin.
My apologies for putting you through these frightening experiences so many times. I fear you will not forgive me, but please don't think that all us Nasla are like this.
What's he talking about? Nice. What's this guy talking about? I don't know what the true intent behind his actions are, and I'm tired of thinking about it. I fell silent. Toya lifted his face and looked directly at me with an indescribable, pained expression. It's such a sad puppy dog look. Aww. This from the guy who kidnaps people. But for a moment, I did think that his eyes are beautiful. Dang it.
Bowing before a woman, you're sullying the pride of a king. Before you talk about women and men, you have a lot to learn about being a human being. At this rate, you'll never find a bride. I found a bride. Her.
What? Says who?
That's not something you can decide on your own, Surin. How many times must I tell you before it sinks in?
For a moment, I thought the princess had walked in. With that voice and skeletal structure, it could only be a man. But his beauty is such that I was confused for a moment. Naala, don't get distracted, girl. Stay with me. But that neutral beauty became murky upon seeing Surin.
This is quite troublesome when it becomes the commoner's turn.
No, you...
If you do not want to be ridiculed, behave accordingly. The previous king, who appointed you as a commander, is rolling around in his grave.
You really know how to get under a guy's skin, don't you?
Apologies, but I'm dealing with someone who needs to be more aware of his skin.
It was so silent in the room you could hear a pin drop. It really is powerful when two men face each other silently. As I gazed on in amazement, the man with the beautiful face noticed me and approached.
Are you all right? I apologize for the savagery.
Such a beautiful, beautiful smile. And yet, he's not really smiling. It's difficult to explain, but as soon as he smiled, I could feel a chill in the air. Is it because he's too beautiful? I can feel a coldness beneath his gaze. I felt he was assessing me in a way different from Surin. Hey, you know, I just realized Noel's plan that he's been working on for the last few routes is finally coming to fruition. It's like, I'm finally gonna get her together with the king. Is he still gonna be a butt about it afterwards, though? Questions I have.
So you're also kowtowing to a woman.
I just dislike when the king's intentions aren't conveyed properly.
The king's intentions?
If you don't like it, get here faster. You're the one who's late.
You are the one who mistook the meeting time.
Hey, Noel, did you... That's enough. It's time for the explanation.
There's only one thing they want from us. I can't keep up watching these three bicker. Even in my confusion, I can't help watching this open exchange between the three.
Lord Touya, if you please.
Quietly getting close to him, Noel hands Toya a letter. He's like an apparition. When did he leave my side? I didn't even notice. While I was being impressed, Toya turned to address the women directly.
First off, as a prerequisite, you all have the right to choose.
Everyone was stunned by this sudden opening. The room regained silence as King Toya's voice rang out.
1. Women will choose a husband. 2. Men will be chosen by the woman. 3. Any man who forces himself on a woman against her will be executed. This is the Nasla selection law, applying to all men and women.
What in the hell? Huh? I understood the words just fine, but the meaning behind them is a complete mystery. Toya looked out at all the shaken women and spoke in a concerned voice.
While I cannot allow you to return home, the least I can do is pray that your feelings will not be harmed any further.
Are you serious? Then what the hell was that just now? As Shalu's voice echoed throughout the room, the women became listless in succession. With a pained look on his face, Toya spoke after glancing at Surin and sighing.
Well... that guy, well, you know.
Know what?
He's not quite right in the head. Please, take mercy on him and forgive him. What?
A look of humiliation spread across Surin's face, but since this insult had come from the king, he couldn't argue back. He clicked his tongue and forcefully leaned up against the wall. Having been humiliated in front of the women he feels so superior to, he must be boiling up on the inside right now. Nice. I forgot about the nice. Naala, I love you. I'm feeling much better after that. He's still an enemy, but I feel like giving Toya a round of applause for that. Maybe that's what Toya was aiming for. Sure enough, the tension in the room lifted slightly. Maybe because Surin's behavior in the beginning was so awful and left such a terrible impression, our senses are becoming dulled. It's a bad omen, man. It's a bad omen. But we're gonna allow it. Maybe I can relax. Just a little. Thinking that, I looked forward and caught the expression of the man standing diagonally behind Toya. A faint smile spread across the lips of the man called Noel. Did this guy send Surin ahead early knowing that this would happen? Even if the king didn't plan this all out, I get the feeling Noel definitely knew this would happen. And now the women are looking at Toya as if he were their savior. I don't know about this King Toya, but Noel is someone I definitely can't let my guard down around. I have to get to know the relationship between these three in order to protect everyone. As I was thinking about the three, I carelessly locked eyes with Surin. As soon as his eyes met mine, he lifted the corners of his mouth in a devilish smile. I couldn't take my eyes off his mouth, and Surin slightly moved his mouth, not letting a word slip out. You figured it out, didn't you? What? I shouldn't have been able to hear him, but it was like his voice was in my ear, sending chills down my spine. He's dangerous, but we might be on the same wavelength. I must remain vigilant around that man. I let out a little sigh and brought my attention back to Toya's talk.
In other words, men cannot make a move. You are in a position to choose, not be chosen.
Sounds just like a con artist. From someone who kidnapped us and frightened us with being forcibly violated, it sounds just like a concession. Being abducted on its own is terrible. Trying to be nice to us now makes for the wrong idea. But this is much better than being attacked suddenly. I just got to experience that terror for myself. Okay, we understand what you're saying. So, are we going to be confined to this room forever? Upon calmly asking him a question, a smile spread across Toya's face. He's probably happy that the women are responding to his talk. He looked relieved, his expression as if a painful poison was being removed. He's so easy to understand.
No, you will be allowed to go outside whenever you like.
What? You're going to let us go free?
The first district, centered in this residence and surrounded by walls, can only be entered by a select chosen few. But don't worry, there's no fools here who would disturb the peace.
Don't worry, huh? I glanced over at Surin, leaning against the wall.
Please, forget about him. Come to think of it, we haven't introduced ourselves. I'm the 15th King of Nasla, Touya. He is...
I am Null, political assistant. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Some of the women sighed in envy of his gracefulness. His smile has the power to make us forget about the current predicament.
And that's... I'm the military commander, Surin. Don't you forget it.
For a moment, he let go of all his hostility and snorted as if he were bored. It's all your fault. No woman would choose you, even if you were the last man on the planet.
And finally, you will all form a trio.
Why?
That's... Lord Toya, should you be discussing this now? There is no need to frighten the women.
It's hard to believe that this guy would care at all about our well-being. However, Toya seemed to agree with what he said, and considered it.
Right. I'll talk about that at another time. My apologies for the confusion.
These ladies will fill you in on the rest of the details.
At Noel's signal, several Nasla women entered the room. Leaving this part to women, surely to get us to let our guard down.
You, get out too. I've got business with her. Seems she has no business with you. Come on, go.
Get out of here. What's with those two? They're more like friends than king and vassal. Even so, this might be all part of the carefully rehearsed plot. To go through all this trouble. Just what is this King Touya thinking? If he just wanted to deal with the lack of women, he could let guys like Surin have their way with us. Does he really intend to protect us Rus women? I stared at the figures leaving the room with suspicious eyes. Then I locked eyes with Touya, who had been looking this way. What? You're the one who kidnapped us. I allowed myself to swear at them after they'd gone. If I hadn't, it would have festered up bottled inside my chest. I felt my feelings being influenced by his guilty-looking eyes. Alright. I think that's probably good. I think I am gonna do this part because it's an important moment between Touya and Surin. I skipped it when I was doing Noel because Noel's just kind of sipping tea during the whole thing and isn't that involved. Let's see, where to begin though? Here we go. We're right in front of the door. Surin is, anyway.
Before I could exhale, an angry voice came from the other side of the door. What's the meaning of this? I'd like to hit the guy who is shouting that with the same line. I opened the door, feeling the anger welling up again. Why did you give a sleeping potion to the girl I brought back with me? She'll be confused when she wakes up. Given how heated he is, he doesn't even care if I come in. Toya asks with his red hair that looks like the setting sun. Noel, on the other hand, is drinking tea with a very cool expression. Toya wasn't the only one who wanted to click his tongue at that gesture, which could be called elegant. I'd like to smash that expensive-looking tea utensils in your face, too.
Why? Well, that's an odd thing to say. I'm trying to protect her.
Protect?
Yes. I have heard reports that she is quite the determined woman. If she were to lash out while being transported, it would be quite dangerous for her, wouldn't it? So I had no choice but to use the potion to protect her.
You are the one who says odd things.
I believe it makes perfect sense.
When have you ever cared for a woman's well-being except in times of diplomacy? And you used to always say, I don't care about people. I consider them as nothing more than sacks of meat. What happened?
I'm human too, so sometimes I change my mind.
If you're that emotionally unstable, you should snort some sleeping potion. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that that girl might be of some value. How long do I have to wait?
Since you came in without permission to enter or even a greeting, I was wondering if you could wait until morning.
Sorry. There was something I absolutely had to ask Noel about. That's not what you should be apologizing for. You. Why did you advance so far inside? I'm pretty sure I heard in advance that the strategy was not to enter from beyond the first defense point. I reluctantly agreed to let you enter the royal capital, but we never talked about going that far in.
Speaking of which, you stopped it, didn't you?
My head boiled at him butting in from the side. Noel knew about this too, after all. Of course! I keep having to say this, but what would happen if Nasla King, who had no heir, died in battle? Why do you think I desperately confronted the Roos King? My angry voice echoes throughout the room. In the air that trembled with anger, only Noel still smiled gracefully, and clapped his hands with a full smile as if he were full of joy.
I heard that you had a wonderful fight, as expected of a man called a war god. To have fought a swordsman who was praised as Roos's #1 and returned safely. As a teacher, I'm proud of you.
I wanted to break all the beautiful fingertips that clapped. Biting my back teeth, I asked while knowing it was useless. If I show you all the sword wounds inflicted by Roos King, will you feel a little guilty?
I'll refrain from doing so. You didn't take on the role of decoy because you also wanted sympathy.
If you knew that, then why did you allow Touya to advance? This is insane. You should have known that if this guy went deep enough, he would definitely take the lead and try to protect the women. What's so funny?
I think it's funny that you think this war is something that can be considered sane.
What?
In the first place, war is about killing and stealing from each other, but this battle turned all of those assumptions on their head, did it not? After all, it was His Majesty's order to say, kill as few enemy as possible and take the woman unharmed. Do you really think you can overcome this with sanity alone, Surin? With all due respect, this kind of warfare is simply madness.
On that, we agree. I'd rather not do this kind of nuts operation again. But that's not what this is about. You have a duty to admonish Touya. Just what are you an assistant of anyway? I've said this more than once, so I know this complaint will fall on deaf ears. Still, I have to say it. Surin, I understand how you feel, but don't blame Noel for this. It was my strong desire to take the army up to that point. If you weren't the king, I'd beat you up. You don't realize that you're the only one with the blood of the spirits. If you were to be killed now, the part of the country that is supported by the belief in the spirits will collapse, and the country will fall apart.
Right, I totally forgot about that. That's in Toya's line, is the blood of the spirits. I'm glad I replayed this.
No, I don't realize. Huh? We are at a tipping point in this age ruled by the rot. If we continue to insist on things like the blood of the spirits, that will lead to the collapse of our country. It's not faith that's needed right now. The one who represents us should only be the one who can bring things to a proper resolution. That's why I can die at any time. That's what it sounded like to me. No. Hearing those words, I knew he really did think that way, and I finally ran out of patience. You... Try saying that to my subordinates who died screaming, "For the king!" You know nothing, nothing at all about the feelings of those below you. If you really had been killed in battle, those guys' last prayers would have been in vain. It won't be in vain. When I die, you should be the king. What? You're Noel's disciple too. You are wise and strong and could become the king at any time. This teacher and disciple are both rattling off the same nonsense! For a moment, I really did want to hit him. In that moment, I felt darkness stirring in the corner of my vision and I clicked my tongue loudly. The Black Ops. Noel's pawns, deployed to protect the king. These guys are mainly assigned to assassinations and espionage, and they're not afraid to throw their own lives away in order to accomplish their missions. So if they wanted to stop me, they're coming after me even with their lives. It would be troublesome if that happened. I don't want to kill people for nothing. I took a deep breath and exhaled deeply as I spoke. I'm not fit to be the king. And think about it, Touya. Is this suicidal urge of yours what that guy would have wanted? We know what that guy refers to without having to tell each other. In fact, Touya immediately reacted and his eyebrows lowered in disappointment. I apologize. It was a remark that neglected both your and his feelings. That's right. But even if you say that, you won't be able to get out of that mindset, so the least you can do is keep your mouth shut about it. I will try. Noel, who may or may not have heard our earnest exchange, beckoned to the darkness as he sipped his tea.
Esther!
Esther!
A man appears from a place where there was no sign of a person. Eyes that can't see emotion are like inorganic things, and it gives me chills whenever I look at them. And since he's always so trim and proper, he reminds me of a puppet or something. The way he bowed and lowered his head was exactly like that.
Report.
We have arrested 2 aristocrats who sneaked into the residence during the commotion and tried to take a woman.
Oh, only 2 is less than I was expecting. I am glad to see that the new law seems to be working.
What shall I do?
Deliver their heads to their houses, as a gift from me. Oh, and don't forget to hang a tag around their severed necks. I am a fool for not obeying the law.
As you wish. After answering briefly, the doll, or rather Esta, disappeared without a sound. He actually jumped down from the window, but his movements were too fast to be realistic. Windows were never meant for jumping out of in the first place.
Naala would agree with this.
Both Noel and Esta may be in a hurry because they feel uneasy internally. Is that okay?
What do you mean?
An aristocrat is still an aristocrat, even if he's unruly. If you punish them so easily, the backlash against you will grow stronger.
Are you worried about me? My disciple's kindness brings tears to my eyes.
As I always say, I've never considered myself to be your disciple.
Oh my, now you're hiding your embarrassment. That's quite cute.
I'd rather kill you than Roost King.
You are welcome to try.
It sounds like a cheap provocation, but he's got the confidence to back it up. How many of those who underestimated Noel as just a civilian official have become just one among the pile of corpses? Recalling the chilling sight, I suppressed my anger and lowered my arms. If we fought seriously, I might win, but bloodshed between allies now is just futile.
By the way, you must have properly received my message. Shouldn't you be preparing before coming to a place like this?
We're just going to the women's place. What kind of preparation do we need?
Oh dear, the fool who cannot understand the hearts of women. No woman will fall in love with you if you show up with your body covered in battle dust.
I don't need a delicate woman who cares about dust. Besides, I've already got my sights set on someone.
That's rare. Is there a woman you're already interested in?
Yeah, a report from one of my subordinates made me a little curious. Surin, let me say this now, but don't do anything reckless to the women. Even if it's you, if you break the law, you must be punished. I know. That's your answer when you don't know.
Surin, are you okay? Putting aside your attitude, please be sure to be on time for the meeting. As the message said, the time when the fountain stops.
That's...
Well then, we shall see you later.
yeah.